Hello everyone, welcome to my chemistry channel BL Das, short and sweet in chemistry. Now I am going to explain the topic, the chapter periodic classification of element, that is for class 10th. Actually this again the student will read in class 11th in detail, and whereas in class 10th only the important points are given. And here is part 2, Newland's Law of Octaves. Then what is Newland's Law of Octaves? Before that, in part 1 I told Dovonier trials where he found three groups of elements where the properties are same, and after that he did not find any type of group like this. But after that the scientist Newland who came, and that his law is known as, his rule is known as law of octaves. Then what is law of octave? What is mean by octave? 8. That means after 8 there is a similar in nature, there is a element which is similar nature or something has similar nature, just like you see octave of music. Octave of music you can find after 8 tune is same to that similar to 1. That is why according to music law of octave, this is called Newland's law of octave. How the music law of octave is given, idea given to that periodic table, the scientist named Newland. So Newland who discovered, he found that it always he observed the one element, if one element is similar to 8th element, then he told that is Newland's law of octaves. It follow the formula rule of law of octaves. After 8 similar to first. Now here Newland arrange the elements because at the time atomic number was discovered. Only the elements are arranged according to their atomic mass. And here atomic mass, if increasing order it is arranged, then what he observed? Arrange the elements increasing order of atomic mass. He found, started with hydrogen. That is lowest first element in periodic table at that time also hydrogen, now also hydrogen, and he observed the lowest atomic mass. Which one? The first element. Which one? That is hydrogen. Hydrogen having lowest atomic mass, it is the first element in the periodic table at that time also, and ended with thorium. That means it starting with hydrogen and ended with thorium. He found these are the elements from hydrogen to thorium, and that is the main important characteristics of the that is law of octave. Then every 8th element 1 2 3 4 5 6 8, just like music 1 2 3 4 5 6 8. In music also the first one is similar to 8. Here also the first one is similar to 8. Now every 8th element property is similar to the first. That is according to the octave rule, and he found that is in the form of octave music. So called, that is why his new idea is called Newland's law of octaves. Newland law of octaves is very, very important because it is the fundamental thing, foundation of the periodic table. After that it is improved by the Mendeleev, but up to here, and the scientist Newland is the most important factor in our periodic table. According to these properties of lithium, what he observed? Lithium and sodium are similar properties. When he saw the different type of experiment and observed, and lastly he found lithium is similar to sodium in properties. And he also observed according to the atomic mass, it comes sodium comes of 8th elements to lithium. Lithium is first and 8th in this one. So similarly also he observed that 8th element after lithium, that is sodium. Similarly he observed 8th element magnesium, it is the after 8th element of that is beryllium. That means beryllium and magnesium, they are having similar characteristic. similar properties, whereas lithium and sodium are having similar properties. That means sodium is the 8th element of lithium, magnesium is the 8th element of that is beryllium. So this law is applicable up to calcium. Now he observed, he found different, he was doing different type of experiment. Last he concluded that up to calcium it can be followed by the Newland octave after 8 element, and this is the similar property to the first. This is okay, but only up to calcium. After calcium, this 8 element rule is not followed. There is no similarity of 8th and 1st. So after that, during his experiment, what the elements he observed, what elements he found in nature, that was here, that is only few elements he observed that who follow the Newland of law of octaves. Here he discovered so many elements up to thorium. But here he observed only few elements who are following up to only calcium. Now this law only applicable up to calcium. Now you see other elements who are the following Newland of octave rule. That means after 8 elements, the 8th one is similar to first one in their chemical or physical properties. Now Newland law of octaves is clear. Then he observed what are the elements to be discovered, what are the elements discovered already, and according to 8 after 8 there is similar properties. What elements come to here? He observed hydrogen, lithium 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. After 8, that is the and sodium, see after 8, that is the sodium, similar properties with lithium. Similarly, here after 8, so after sodium, that comes to potassium. Here 8 element finish, and potassium has the similar properties to sodium. Here also magnesium similar to beryllium, that is similar to magnesium similar to calcium. And here he observed after 8 elements the properties are similar. But after calcium, what are discovered? Here they have not shown similar properties after 8 elements. There is no similarity in properties. Then what are the main assumptions here? 56 elements existed in nature. He assumed that only 56 elements found in nature, no more elements can be would be discovered in future. That means at the time of Newland law of octave, only 50 elements that existed. He assumed that only 56 elements are present in nature, and there should be no other elements to be in future. But later, after that, when he assumed that the only 56 elements, and after that several elements are, that means whose properties are not fit to Newland law of octave. That means here after assumption of the Newland, so many elements discovered, but is not following any rule of the Newland law of octave. That means after 8th element there is no similarity in nature. And what are the disadvantage here? What are the disadvantage? He adjusted when elements discovered, he adjusted 2 elements in the same slot. Slot means 1 to 8. After 8 there is a similar property element. That means he adjusted whenever the element discovered, he adjusted in the same slot. But though they have not similar properties, and also put some unlike elements. Those that have not similar properties, also he put under the same node. Same node means 1 to 8, that is node. So also put some elements unlike elements. And also in the same slot also, suppose slot means that 8 elements, here also he tried to put new elements, 2 elements already. And after that, most important that cobalt and nickel. Now you can see new periodic table, cobalt, nickel in the same, because after cobalt, nickel is there. But at that time what he has done, that means in the same slot he he was putting. That means in same 8 number of elements he tried to put cobalt and nickel in the same slot, though after cobalt nickel is there. And also he placed these elements after fluorine, chlorine, bromine. Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, when you will see the periodic table, I will tell how to remember the periodic table. At the time, he put these elements here along the fluorine, chlorine, bromine. Though their properties are totally different. They are fluorine, chlorine, bromine, they are similar nature, okay, but cobalt and nickel, their properties are totally different from these three. And place which have different properties than cobalt and nickel. Cobalt and nickel properties are not same, but again he put these elements along fluorine, chlorine, bromine. That is why these are the main disadvantages. And also there were some disadvantage are there. I am going to explain, but remember here he always said the 8 elements should be in one slot, that having the characteristics of after 8 there is a new element that have similar properties, but he put some unlike elements in the same slot, and I always tried to extra element put in the same slot. Cobalt, nickel, those properties are totally different and they should be in the same slot, but nickel to be in the same slot. That to be now you can see it in the same slot, same line, because after cobalt nickel is there, but he forcefully placed in the same column where fluorine, chlorine, bromine are there and they have similar properties, though cobalt, zinc properties are totally different. And see other disadvantage of the Newland law. The other disadvantage of the Newland laws of octaves, here see iron resemble to cobalt and nickel. Now also in modern periodic table you can find iron is resemble to cobalt and nickel, but at the same time they are placed far away from these elements. Newland who placed these elements far away from, that means the iron is placed far away from the cobalt and nickel, but actually the three elements are very similar in nature and by properties. They should be placed in one place. But then come to next, Newland was able to classify elements up to calcium. He was able to classify the elements up to calcium whose atomic mass is 40. After that, what was discovered that is not fitting to the Newland laws of octaves. Then what are the importance? You know, the Newland said so many positive things towards the periodic classification, though totally is not suitable to almost all elements, but he proved that some elements after 8 is similar to first one. And here Newland's law of octaves work well with lighter elements. What is lighter element? Now in periodic table, what is lighter element is clear about group 1 elements, that is hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium. These are called as one group 1 element. These are the lighter elements, and how we will see in modern periodic table. Newland's law of octaves work well with the light elements just like lithium, sodium and potassium. It also follows that Newland law of octaves after 8 is similar to first. He gave one conclusion to the chemistry, because here he arranged the elements according to their atomic mass. That means atomic mass, he proved that atomic mass of elements are related to their properties. According to the properties, atomic mass, the elements are arranged. So indirectly you can say he proved that atomic mass of element are to their properties. Atomic mass always related to their properties, And so elements were arranged in the order of increasing atomic mass. From that scientist Newland, it is always arranged according to the increasing order of atomic mass, but condition until the atomic number was discovered, because atomic number was discovered by the scientist Mosley, and up to that the elements are arranged according to their atomic mass, and after discovering of atomic number that idea changed. So he was giving the foundation to the chemistry, that the atomic mass of the elements are always related to the properties. I hope it is clear. Newland laws of octaves. Newland laws of octaves. Octaves is 8 note. That means in music you will always find first one that is similar to the after eighth one. So here also he observed some element who discovered and arranged according to the Newland law of octaves. And here some elements also though discovered, though it is not matching, till that here it is put, the elements are put in the same slot, same note. So these are the some disadvantage, and also only up to he said up to 56 elements were available in the periodic table, and also in future there would be no element to be discovered, but after that several elements were discovered and tried to put in the Newland laws of octaves, but some are fitting, some were fitted and some were not fitted. That is why it was the main failure to the Newland laws of octaves. I hope it is clear to you. Hope you will subscribe my channel BL Das Short and Sweet in Chemistry, and hope you will like my channel, and so that I may produce more videos regarding periodic table and you can enjoy the chemistry with periodic table. Thanks again to all.